Hello BookTube. Well, today was the annual School Feeding Fund book sale. The day that they fill the town hall with books in boxes and people go mad scrounging for books. And I really do mean scrounging. It is £5 a book, regardless of the book. I saw one lucky lady leaving with the Game of Thrones series at £5 a book. Wow, I don't even want to tell you how much I spent on each of them. But anyway, the majority of the books in the fiction section this year were older. I'm talking about Wilbur Smith, Ian Fleming. Not that I have anything against Ian Fleming. And I wasn't all that interested. They looked very well used. But the classic section is something that I'm interested in because even if it's just to get an initial look and see what it's about, go and buy a nicer copy later if I really want it. But anyway, this is the result of a lot of indiscriminate shopping. This entire set of books that you're going to see today cost less than half of the price of one new release. Just think about that. Less than half the cost of one new release. So I'm going to start off with some of the books that I got for teaching. And then I'm going to move on through. There's a list. I'm not going to describe anything about these books because I know pretty much nothing about these books. Or if I do, I'm pretty sure they're general knowledge and you will have a good idea on it as well. But I just wanted to share my book haul because I don't do book hauls often. I don't usually get new books all that often. I'm trying to not get new books all that often. But anyway, let's get started. So this one is a grammar guide for English. It's got some nice simple explanations. Let's open to the blank page, why don't we? It's got some nice simple explanations, and you know, the more resources the better. You can never want less resources as a teacher. Then I got a study guide on Julius Caesar because just in case they decide to make it compulsory, who knows what they're planning on doing or when they're going to decide that they're going to tell us what the alternative to Hamlet is. A nice study guide for Hamlet. I'm really impressed with this one. It's got the play in and it's got a whole lot of notes. So quite thrilled with this one. Then I've got 5 books in the Pelican Guide to English Literature. Okay, so somebody must have had these in a library and got rid of them. But these are resources that are handy for me because with prescribed literature, who knows what's going to be in there, and the more information I can find, the better. And one thing I like about the fact that, you know, if it's published, it's been verified. If it's on the internet, any idiot could have written it. So I like the idea of these things. And who knows, maybe I can increase my knowledge in that rare moment where I get some time. Then let's go for my third Chaucer. I have the Riverside Chaucer. I've got the Complete Works of Chaucer, but this was just too pretty and too unread and never touched before to leave it behind. So I got this too. Then we get on to some other classics. I've got The Razor's Edge by M. Somerset Maugham. No idea what it's about. It wasn't the Maugham I was looking for, but we'll make do with what we've got. AntonY Chekov. This one is An Eye for an Eye. Not quite the one I was after, but D.H. Lawrence, Lady Chatterley's Lover. I've never read any Lawrence before, which then brings me to Sons and Lovers, because if not get one, get two. Elizabeth Gaskell, I wanted North and South, but they didn't have. And this one looks like it's Mary Barton. Strange handwriting. Mary Barton, probably. Anyway, got that one. Then Fitzgerald, Tender is the Night. I've only read Gatsby. Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. I've read all the other Brontes except for Anne, so looking forward to that. And then Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca. Now this one I have read. I do have a copy, but my copy looks a lot worse than this one because I got it at last year's sale. So, trading up. Then I have The New Machiavelli by H.G. Wells. Know nothing about it. I was actually looking for the War of the Worlds, but make do with what we've got. Then This Doorstop, Vanity Fair. Yeah. One Long Holiday. Silas Marner, George Eliot. I loved Middlemarch. I thought it was fabulous. So, if not, why not? And this one has never been touched. Then some vintage Dickens. Unfortunately, somebody really put a bit of a damage on the cover, but yeah, it's £5. And this one is Little Dorrit. Gulliver's Travels, the ugliest book there was. This one I'm just disappointed because this is Dostoevsky's The Brother Karamazov, and of course I got home and saw it said 2. So I will either find one or I will find a complete version at some point. The Portable Chekov, I enjoyed the AntonY Chekov that I've read, and if not, why not add to it? The same guy who wrote Vanity Fair, this is Barry Lyndon. Mom got this one for me. Wilkie Collins, The Moonstone. I was actually wanting The Woman in White, but anyway, they never had all the ones that I wanted. They had the authors, but not the books. Then I already have a copy of Virgil's The Aeneid, but this one might have a different translation because mine looks like it's Greek. Ditto for Homer's The Iliad. We'll see how this one goes. Shame this poor book has been rather abused. Then I got Don Quixote, and this one is in glorious condition. In fact, that bookmark probably shows how far somebody got into it. And then we get to some more modern books for now. I've got Isabel Allende, Forest of the Pygmies. I quite enjoy Allende's books. I haven't heard of this one before, but I've really enjoyed Daughter of Fortune and The House of the Spirits I loved. And so I thought, and Zorro, loved her Zorro. So I thought I'd give this one a bash. Another one my mom got for me, Colleen McCulloch, A Creed for the Third Millennium. I loved The Thornbirds, and I've read one of her crime novels, so I thought, well, if not, why not? Well, my mom asked me if I'd want it. I was like, yeah, I like all books. Dean Koontz, Forever Odd, because it's Odd Thomas. You see how I did there? Okay, I've read book 1, thought it was hilarious. Elvis was an inspired addition to the story. $5, I'll take it. Georgette Hayes, These Old Shades. There's a bit of story behind this one because this one I do know. This is the book where my mom got my middle name from. And this one is actually in really good condition for an old book. So I thought, if not, why not? I'd like to have my own copy of it. One day I'll let you know what my full name is, and you will see why there's a particular Shakespeare play that I don't like reading. And then because this book has been spoken about in so many circles, I thought, if not, why not? I'll give it a try as well. A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. Yeah, as I said, indiscriminate shopping. Then I got the poems of William Blake. I've quite enjoyed the poems of Blake that I have read, and I'm not even talking about the rather typical Tiger or the Lamb. I really loved London and The Garden of Love. I'm enjoying at the moment as well. It's one of our matric set works. And then I got the complete poems of Alexander Pope, which is actually quite nice because there's a lot of explanations in here. And this book has also never been touched. Well, the cover was a bit abused, but the inside has never been touched. And then I got this copy of Macbeth. I like having different editions of this, well, different editions of the Shakespeare plays, because they have different notes in there, and trying to explain this to kids, when you're reading it for yourself, it's fine. If you don't get it, you move on because you understand the idea behind it, but the kids get stuck. So the more I have of these, the easier it is for trying to explain random stuff. And then I got what I had really been looking for, besides one other book, was the complete works of Shakespeare. Yes, I know somebody abused the cover, but you know what? You just do that and suddenly it looks a lot better than it did before. It's going to be a naked hardback on my shelf. But this one, the actual play on the install, it's in very good condition. I don't think anybody's ever read it, and it will be loved by me and read by me, especially for ShakeTube, because I wanted to do Taming of the Shrew. I was free that week, and I did not have a copy of Taming of the Shrew, and trying to read it online, sitting at my desk at the computer, was just not quite the angle my body wanted to be in for Shakespeare. Anyway, that's what I've got. I think it was about 32, 33 books that I bought, and it was rather a successful haul, even though I have no idea what most of these books are about. I wanted the author, not necessarily that book. But beggars can't be choosers, and the money goes to a really good cause. It goes to feeding, providing food for children at schools, children who are not fed at home because of poverty. So this is the meal that they rely on. And this is the fundraiser that they rely on to be able to provide that service to these children. So even if these books are duds, who knows, maybe that Penguin series is a dud, at the end of the day it's still going for a good cause, so I don't really mind that either. So that was my book shopping. I'm now going to go and put my back and my arms somewhere where it can relax, because carrying all of this around was quite something. I will see you for my wrap up, which I have been planning for a while and just have not got around to filming because I keep going, oh, but I'm just 20 pages left to go in the next book, and that was 3 books ago. So we will see what happens then. Goodbye.